the great one indeed, Joe Gibbs, legendary Hall of Fame coach. Hey, Coach, how are you?
Hey, Brian, JP, thank you for having me on. Hey, I'm doing good. I'm chasing cars down here, racing. And thank goodness I haven't caught one yet. But
Coach.
the other thing I'm doing is enjoying our Washington football team, our Commanders. I tell you, it was awesome. It was a great run this year.
Coach, when you get a quarterback like a Jaden Daniels, how much of the pressure comes off of you as a coach?
Well, I think that as we know, Brian, all quarterbacks come in all different packages. Some can run, some are brilliant check downs. If you think about Mark Rippon in 91, he was not a runner, but for the entire year we had 9 sacks.
Yeah.
Think about that.
That's crazy.
What he was football brilliant. He knew where all the check downs were, and so many of the quarterbacks that we see come in different packages. Here's the deal with Jaden. I think he's the complete package. I mean, this guy, he played the game really smart. Okay, he definitely is a great runner, has great instincts in the pocket, and I got to tell you, is really, really an accurate passer too.
Yes.
So I think what everybody's looking for is the total package, and I think we may have it.
I'm with you, Coach. It's remarkable with Jaden because the play, the accuracy, the mobility, like you mentioned. But I know you've spent some time with the team. I think perhaps more impressive than Jaden the player is Jaden the person. I'm curious what your interactions have been like.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to. I haven't really spent much time to him just to say hi. But I think all of us in Washington are studying whoever that quarterback is. It's one of the obviously toughest jobs in the world to compete in a city and be the quarterback. But I think we've all watched him. And I know it came back in the draft when I was talking to, all the guys there in Washington, Doug Williams and everybody, that he is a great person, which means so much. Character and person comes first on no matter what with players. And so he's a great person. But then when you see him play, I think it just gets everybody excited. So anyway, I think that is a huge part of us going forward. But I think more than that, you in the NFL, you've got to have everything if you're going to compete and go to Super Bowls. And I think with Josh and his new team, David Blitzer and the group there, a fantastic job of picking the people that were going to actually run the show. Dan, and then to get Adam Peters and the decisions he's making. It just takes a lot to put all that together. And so I think that's the most impressive thing about what's taken place this year in such a short period of time, to do all that, put it together, and then to get all the way to a championship game. I think that gives every Washington fan great hope for the future.
As fans love the guy, but whatever they do on the field, they love their talent and stuff like that. As a coach, like Dan said, they look for the right guys, the right commanders, the character type guys. You did the same thing. How much pressure comes off of you when you know you picked a guy who you know is going to be there no matter what?
I think, Brian, for all of us, one of the things we love about football, certain teams, and it doesn't necessarily carry over, but certain teams get a great feeling about themselves. There's a confidence. A team really is a lot like a person. Sometimes we have great confidence. Sometimes we're worried about things or not confident. And so certain teams grab that. And so I think that's kind of what happened here. And so your leadership comes from your players, and I think Dan has done a great job there of kind of picking players. And I think obviously in the draft to be able to do what they did, I think it says they've put together kind of a unbelievable first year, and so that gives everybody confidence.
Absolutely. Talking with legendary Hall of Fame, Super Bowl winning head coach Joe Gibbs. Coach, I'm curious, just like you are so busy. I mean, all the different interests you have, all the racing, all of it. I mean, your race teams perform at the absolute highest levels. And then I saw you in Detroit. Like, how do you carve out time to continue to be? And I know you're involved in the ownership group. Like, how do you carve out the time to continue to be involved with the Burgundy and Gold?
Well, I think, hey, that youth home, that goes all the way back to 34 years ago. And
Wow.
It was 4 people sitting down at a breakfast and realizing that we needed to do for some young people, give them a second chance in life. The young people between 14 and 18 that have fallen behind in education didn't sometimes have the family atmosphere that other kids have. Where's the chance for them to go and get a second chance? That youth home is a testimony to what Washington can do and what God can do. Like we all worked on it, everything, but God put that youth home there. There's some stories about it that are unbelievable. And so it's also an example of what Washington can do. We have Heart to Heart coming up on Saturday night. I'll be there. But that's an example of Washington and what they can do. And obviously, the Redskins fan base and now the Commander fan base, I think it's the greatest sports franchise in the world. Mm-hmm. So not only can they do youth homes better than anybody, I think certainly we're capable of, I think, going forward to get ourselves back to Super Bowls, too, at the top of the NFL.